Samantha from Scrapmaster's Paradise, and today for Tutorial Tuesday I'm going to be making a mini book out of all the Christmas cards that we got this year. Now here's some I've still got to punch the holes in. I went ahead and used my Bind It All and punched holes in all of these Christmas cards so that they line up, and I did a full row of punches and then I did 4 more holes. So that equals 10 holes around the sides of these cards. So I'm just going to go ahead and punch these two. I moved the ribbon down for this one so that it wasn't in the way. I'd have to move it down even further, so I'm just going to move it down a lot, get it all out of the way. And then I just line up the card in here. I'm going to punch it. You have to use some muscles for this sometimes. Okay, so I punched one row, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line these two up so that I make sure I punch 4 more, and then in here there's this little teeny peg you can line up with some of the holes you already punched. So I'm lining it up with those 4, maybe, there we go. And then I'm going to push that peg forward, and that way it's lined up with my card. You can see now my holes will be all lined up. Then I'll have 10 holes across my card. So that's what I've got going on. I'm going to do this one, and this one has a sound thing inside of it, so I'm going to make sure I don't hit that, but it might be kind of hard to get through this card since it's so thick. And line it up. I'm lining up with that peg again. Alright. I've done all my punches. I don't know if my coil is going to be big enough. I've got this coil, I think it's a 5/8 of an inch coil, so I may have to find a bigger coil later, but I'm going to use this one, and I need to cut 10 of the coils off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so I'll cut it right here. I've got to get my wire cutters for that. Okay, so I cut my coil. I've got 10 of the little segments here, so I'll have plenty of coils to cover my books. I'm also going to be just making a cover for it that just says Christmas cards and the year that it's from, so I remember what year it's from. I've got this paper from My Mind's Eye. This is the Bluebell Everyday paper. I'm just going to cut one down, and then I'll stamp it and put stickers on it to decorate it. I just cut it at 5 by 7, and I'm going to punch holes in it as well. This will just be our cover. I want 10 holes again. And use my peg. Okay, so there's the cover. I punched it all out. We'll set the Bind It All aside and just decorate this really quick. Oops, I've got Bind It All pieces everywhere where I punched the holes out. Okay, so for this I'm going to write Christmas cards. Oops. I'm going to write Christmas cards using our new Timeless Typewriter alphabet set. I'm just going to use red ink for this because I'm going to use red little alphabets to do the year, since this one doesn't come with numbers. Just going to go ahead and stamp these. I think actually, since it's Christmas is so long, I'll just say Xmas cards. That way it'll be shorter and it won't run off of the page. So I'll start with the X and just start stamping. And I am going to need my stamp cleaner. So I stamped the C and the M first so that I could stamp both of the A's at the same time. 2 S's, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp the R and the D, and then I can stamp 2 S's at the same time. Okay, last one. The blue and the red just look so beautiful together. I'm really pleased with how that looks. And the dogs are playing, so you might hear them barking and grunting at each other. So for the 2012, I want to use these little red alphabets, but there was only 1 2, so I have 2 packs here, and I'll use both of those 2s. I didn't want to use any of the other colors, so just open this up. Alright, 2012 underneath it. Oops, I don't want them to be super crooked. They don't have to be perfect, but I don't want them to be sideways or anything. Okay, so there's that part. I gotta grab the other pack for the second 2. That's what I usually buy alphabets in multiple sets just for this kind of thing where you run out of certain letters or numbers. It gets so frustrating when you have this pack of alphabets you want. And that's what makes stamps really nice, because you never run out of letters with stamps. I thought I'd make a few alphabet stamp sets so you always have a number of letters you need. So there is my cover. It's super quick, super easy, and it'll just go in front of these cards in my book. You can see it's pretty thick, so I'm not sure that this coil is going to be the coil I end up using, but for today I'm just going to go ahead and use it so that I can get all my cards together, and I can always go back and change the coil. Right now, all of my larger coils are in storage. So for this part, I need, where did it go? Okay, so I need this little guide, and I gotta find the one, I think it's this one. It lines up. So I'm gonna make sure I have it lined up with the 5/8 of an inch. There's a 5/16. Let's see, I gotta go out a little bit, because that's going to squeeze your coil to the right size if you line up the numbers. These all have little numbers in here, so you need to make sure you match your coil with that, and then when you squeeze, it's going to push your coil to the right size. That's the purpose of this piece. So I made sure it was the 5/8 of an inch, which I thought it was. And then we've got to line up all our cards on here. So let's see, this is going to be the back. I put these on, whatever's against this is going to be the very back of my card. So I'm going to start from the back. It doesn't matter how these cards go in order. There's no real order to the cards. Just want to make sure to get all of them on my coil. You don't want to have to go back and line things up again. There's some smaller cards. Oops, I think I'm putting them the wrong way. Yep, okay. I've got to put them the right way. They need to be going this way. Try that again. Just lining it all up. Okay. Yeah, that's the back, so I need to flip it over. I messed up, you can see I didn't line up the pegs, so those holes are a lot bigger. They got crooked. You'll get to see all the fronts of the Christmas cards this way. Let's see. Almost got it. Uh-oh. See, I punched only 9 holes in this one. I gotta do that one again. I think this one too. Yep. Okay. I can already tell I'm running out of room on this coil. Okay, and I want this big one in the front actually so that it holds all the other ones. So I've got to punch one more hole into these ones. Okay, got those two. Stick them on. And then the last card. And then the cover. Okay. So then we get it lined up in the center there, and we're going to squish it. And just press it all the way through. Squish all those coils together. And it makes them nice and round. So there is the coils. And I'm going to scoot this so that the line goes up against the last card here. Sometimes people do it where that line is actually inside, like that, so you don't see it, but I actually like it at the back. So I just make it the back. It's easier that way for me. So it is a little bit tight, but I actually think this coil might just work. Keep my book together. So that is it. Got my book here. I can go through the cards, and I left the opening so you can still look inside the cards. That was done by the little girl that I watch. Just flip through, look at all the cards, and it just looks nice. And you can cover this with ribbon or twine. You can tie it on the coils, but that's all I'm going to do to it. It's so super simple and easy. The cover's just very basic. Now it can go with all your memories. Oh, that is it for this Tutorial Tuesday. Thanks so much. Bye.